ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. Welcome back to the UKLC. My name is Jake Hitprey Matthews. I am joined by Dan Orcs Harrison as we kick it off with our grand finals between XL and Mnm. I say grand finals, it's just the week 3 finals.
Yeah, but I am hyped to be here for the weekly finals of the UKLC or whatever Jake likes to call it. We do have a quick look from our previous game, the MVP, which was your boy Chibs on the LeBlanc. He had pretty pop-up performance. I think overall there was some points where Mnm weren't convincing, but they really managed to bring it back online, and Chibs didn't go down once, just had a solid performance on one of his signature picks.
Yeah, dude looked really, really good on the LeBlanc. Happy to see him going back to that pick as well. You know, the Aurelia we've been hyping up, but the Chibs, the LeBlanc is another pick that, you know, we kind of forgot about. And he whips it out today versus Fury's Aatrox, which he played earlier on this week. Well, yeah, yesterday. And he looked really good on it.
That was a matchup to watch as well, was the LeBlanc up against the Aatrox, but particularly Fury against Chibs, because both of them have had some really standout performances. And even though Chibs did a lot of work there, I don't think that is to discredit the fact that Fury put a lot of effort in on the Aatrox, but it just shows how Mnm can really step up their level of play, which they're going to need to. They do have a quick look at the bracket, and we'll see who they're up against next.
Well, we know who they're up against, but let's have a little look at the journey they've taken this week to get there. XL obviously took on Enclave. That game it had a rough start, mainly because we set fire. Then we had XL versus Phelan, which was today at the beginning. If you didn't see it, I know there were a few issues here and there. Make sure you head over to the YouTube channel, catch up, because honestly, it was such a stellar game by Phelan. And I mean, XL played well to pull that back. Then we look at Mnm, who played versus Envision. That was an absolute slugfest for Mnm to pull that back. Envision had an insane start. So again, make sure if you didn't see that yesterday, go back and watch the VOD because it was really bloody good. Then Diamolus versus Mnm, we just had coming out before this break. And that game was slow and controlled, but you could see both those teams really wanted the win. They knew that this put them ahead of the other. Yeah. So they wanted to make sure they got that win. Mnm stepped up. They were able to find it, but it wasn't like Diabolus didn't give them a fight.
And that's a surprising thing to me, is that typically Diabolus have not had the best early game, but then coming into the middle late game, their team fighting's been stellar. But it did end up being Mnm who came out ahead, which shows there is still a bit of a difference between these two teams. But I mean, if we looked at XL in the first week, I would say based on their performances, they would really struggle. But XL has not looked completely clean in their game against Phelan. It wasn't convincing. There were a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues. So we know what they're capable of. But what I think was a big surprise is how much their bot lane got punished, because Sean and Kasing, for the most part, did well, but after burning his flash in the mid lane, did get punished for it. Yeah. But Sean playing that Sivir into Alistair Ashe, that's a bad lane to play Sivir into, but they made him really feel it, and they constantly look for opportunities to punish. Wisdom was still on the Alistair, and it just shows, although these two teams went to our finals and they're looking great, there are issues, and both of them will be looking to exploit the other team's issues.
So before we get to picks bans, I want to have a little talk about what we're expecting to be taken away here. I feel like Aurelia is just going to be gone. I feel like the Heimerdinger is also just going to be gone. Is there anything else that maybe we want to see removed here?
Here's the massive issue going up against XL, is it feels like Heimer is a permaban, Yasuo is a permaban, and then Aurelia normally is a permaban for all the teams, but you really restrict what you can ban if you're in that situation, because if you're already having to ban out 2 champions as a guaranteed thing, you're limiting what else you can take off the table. And I think that's why the Hyun and Heimer is so impactful. Not necessarily because it's a guaranteed win, because honestly, we won't see him play it very much in the UKLC. It's banned so often, but it is just one ban always off the table, because you have to absolutely respect it. And I think of any team, Mnm, who did feel the wrath of the Heimer, they will know to ban that one away. And then it raises questions like, are you more scared of specials Aurelia or is Yasuo? Which I think the issue they have with the Yasuo is that you can flex it in the bot lane, and that was a big concern for a lot of teams because it makes it very difficult to be an AD carry up against that. So they may be willing to leave the Aurelia open, but again, it's not clear cut. And there is one counterpoint, is that XL on blue side, and thus far they haven't shown themselves to first pick Aurelia.
Yeah.
So if it was left open, there is a situation in which it could be left over, and only Angel and Chibs have both shown that they're excellent on this champion. So there is obviously a possibility. However, if you do take that gamble, you may end up just giving special Aurelia, which is... And Sendo's pretty solid in it as well. It's pretty...
Yeah, true. No, I kind of think there's 4 people who are very good at this Aurelia. And I mean, neither team wants any one of those lot to be getting it. So I feel like it's probably just going to be put to the wayside for this game, purely because there's so many people capable of playing this Aurelia. And if it does get left open, it kind of gives a really big opening, a really big opportunity to the other team to get their hands on that pick and get a power pick.
I mean, that's my big concern is that under normal circumstances, I'd say yeah. There's so many other picks that are going to be a problem. You know, you might end up leaving the Silas open, you might end up leaving the Aatrox open, the Nico, the Lux. These are all problematic picks. And essentially, assuming Mnm continue, you know, with banning Heimer and then Yasuo, which every team has recently done against XL, you have one ban in the first rotation.
Yeah.
And you have all those champions, which may be an issue. And that's why I feel like Aurelia might be one to leave open, because I think it's a contested pick and you might wager them not taking it. And I think the best option is don't ban any of these power picks, because in the situation that XL pick up that Aurelia first pick, you now have 2 picks of your own. You could take Nico Lux, you could take Aatrox Lux, you can take some things that are powerful in return. Whereas I feel if you start limiting that pool, you might end up not having anything to answer in your first rotation.
All right, well, XL start out and open out by banning away the Akali. Don't want to be giving that over to Chips. There's the Heimerdinger. I mean, there's no point addressing it. We know Kiana's not going to get that. And so what XL decides to take away, they deny only Angel this Aatrox. Now, what we did just see Fury play it for the last 2 days. Remember at the beginning of the season, the beginning of the summer split, only Angel was playing this a lot, and he was looking scary on this pick.
So we then see the Yasuo, Olaf banned away from Nalty. He's looked really good in this champion. It is limiting him because I think on other champions he just hasn't been as stellar. And now it comes to Mnm. Do you ban away the Aurelia, or do you risk it and gamble on the fact that you don't think XL are going to first pick this champion? Or, I mean, that's the thing, is you may have something prepared if they do first pick it, but I feel like in this situation, you might just look for power picks. You know, if he does take the Aurelia, you take something like the Lux, maybe the Nico as well, although my concern would be Nico blind could be risky. And actually, they're going to look at the Gangplank, so this says to me that they want to leave these power picks open so they can trade them off. And now XL, there's a lot of things open, and they do opt to go for the Aurelia first pick, so they are very confident in that one. But now Mnm can respond. The Lux is a possibility. The Silas is a possibility. There are picks that are powerful that are left open.
What do they decide to go for? I feel like this probably will be a Silas Lux rotation for Mnm. Shogun has shown just complete comfortability on this champion. Wants to get it. Kasing, we know, is willing to play it, especially with the Yuumi taken away. So they're going to pick that up most likely. That's the Silas locked in. Could technically be a flex pick. It could go somewhere else on the map, but realistically, on the current patch, it's normally a jungler.
It's most likely going to be a jungler, and I think the priority has been given here because Olaf has been taken off the table. Nalty's champion pool of recent has been a bit limited, so they want to get him something powerful. And I think the big thing is the fact that Yuumi is disabled, so it does put Lux as a top tier pick, which is why I'm really surprised to see them go towards his Karma. So it may be a situation where Shogun has something planned, but I almost definitely expect XL to pick up a rotation here that could just be Sivir Lux.
They could go for something pretty aggressive, because remember, last game we saw first game we saw Hyanan pick up the Sivir, and Kasing play the Lux, and then it was Alistair Ashe into them, and they fed. They really fed that bot lane. So maybe they can pick something aggressive and look to punish them, as looks like Hyanan wants to go back towards the Sivir. Taxa going to go for the Sejuani. So for the most part, XL are mirroring their picks they picked at the beginning of today.
Yeah, so I understand the reason they go for the Sejuani here. The synergy with Aurelia is just so strong. They prioritize that over the Lux pick. They do take the Sivir anyway, but that does mean that Mnm, although they missed the Lux in the first rotation, it's open here, but it would sort of reveal where the Karma is going. I feel like Karma mid has been not the sort of pick that Chips would play, but also not played too much often on this patch. So if they had picked up the Lux there, it would have shown things. Instead, they go for the Kai'Sa, which has been Yusa's go-to AD carry across the board here. And now Mnm do look to their ban phase. I feel like Lux is definitely going to be a ban for one of the teams, and instantly Mnm take it off the cards. The question is definitely got to be, is that Karma going to be going to top lane, or is it going to go into support? Because to be honest, I don't really see Only Angel as necessarily a Karma player.
No, I feel like you want to put him on something that can carry, something that's flashy, impactful. The Karma itself, it neutralizes whatever lane it's in, and then obviously it works as a utility support, or you can go full AP for a bit of burst in those fights, but realistically, when I think of Only Angel, I think of the likes of his Aatrox. His Aatrox was one of the only things that kept them going versus XL in week 1.
Yeah, and I would actually really like to see XL ban away the LeBlanc here, because I feel like when I look at Sejuani Aurelia, I can't think of many things that are going to survive that lane. If you put Special on the Aurelia and Taxa on Sejuani, you need something that either has the mobility to get away from... Actually, to be honest, I don't think there's anything tanky enough to withstand that. It just has to be a mobility to survive it. So I think LeBlanc would be a great pick for Chips here. So I feel like XL should look to ban that one away. And instead they actually opt to go for only Angels Jace, so limiting the champions that he could pick. And that's the thing, is that it is still a flex Aurelia. We did see Sendo play it, so it could go in the top lane. And this does limit the tools that only Angel has to go up in response to it. However, Mnm, if they want to take that LeBlanc for Chibs, it is available.
Looks like they're going for it. They're thinking about it. And like you said, it's about the mobility. It's about the ability to survive it. Now, what we don't know for 100% certainty, though, is whether or not that Aurelia is going top or mid. Remember, Sendo's played it, Special has played it as well. So this now means XL, maybe if they were expecting this little book to come through, then maybe they have something planned, prepared for it, as they're looking for the moment just for something to go in that bot lane. They don't want to go for something squishy like the Lux has been taken away, so now they're kind of being forced down the pool a little bit on the support picks.
I think that's the thing, is that the champion pool for supports has been limited, but Xing has shown he is willing to play almost anything, even bringing out the Fiddlesticks earlier in this week. And he actually is going to look towards it again, and this does make it very hard. If you're playing Kai'Sa or LeBlanc, you want to be able to go in. If you get feared, you are so vulnerable on the back end of that. Was considering the Brawn for a bit, good synergy with Sejuani, but I think taking a melee into that potential Karma Kai'Sa matchup is rough. And Xing's showing the flexibility as champion pool, but now they do have to look in the final pick and show where this Aurelia is going. And my concern is that you have this LeBlanc who's going to do okay into it, but now the the Nar's been taken. The champion pool's been limited a bit for only Angel. I feel, I almost said it before, I feel like Kennen might be the safe pick to take into that Nar.
Remember, this could still be a top lane Karma, and they might lock a support in here. Now, obviously, the support pools themselves have been pinched quite heavily by Mnm here, and outside of just the Lux being removed, XL mirroring their picks from game 1, we're seeing only Angel get his hands onto the Urgot. Been a little while since we've seen this. Last season, we had a lot of play on this champion, but kind of fallen away for the wayside a little bit since then. And we have to see how he does, because how does this matchup go? So a bit of a change has happened to him. His Purge now is where the shield is and not the W.
I mean, I think the thing is with the Urgot, you have quite a lot of shoving capability, and then against the Gnar, once you hit that sort of level 9 point, you have that page max if you go for that max, or you're really hard to deal with. The Gnar really can't get in a melee range of you, and if you get on top of him, you will be able to burst him. But my concern is that with the Sejuani backing him up, you may be vulnerable in some regards. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen this matchup. It's a bit different to when we previously saw it, but I feel like it is mostly just going to be a farming lane unless the junglers turn up and show their faces. However, I like the pick here because when there's something like an Aurelia going around, it's very easy to lock it down as an Urgot. Plus, because of her mobility, you get so many shotgun legs onto it. And it's the same with the Gnar. If Gnar goes into Mega and jumps to the other side of you, he will take those initial shotgun legs, and then he will also get the ones in the reverse. And they do so much damage. I believe they hit like the power spikes at, I think, level 13. And after that point, they just absolutely shred.
It's going to be a good matchup to watch as well. The execution coming through from the Urgot. I love Fear Beyond Death. It's such a good team fight tool. It's just so fun to watch as well when you just get the big AoE and everybody runs away from you.
That's the thing, is that both these top laners have specific windows in which they can be hugely impactful in team fights. If you get the Mega Gnar at the right time and get a big slam into the wall, Gnar can carry a team fight. But it's the same with Urgot. If you get an ult on the right person and then flash him with a Fear, it can literally just win or lose a game. And I feel like both these top laners have tools, but it comes down to how the laning phase goes. I think a massive part is going to be how much the junglers assist, and also playing around things like the Gnar's Mega, because Sejuani with a Mega Gnar is really hard to 2v2 because he stacks up the passive as well. But if it's a mini Gnar, he's really squishy, and he doesn't stack up a passive, so it isn't going to be as helpful in those skirmishes.
Alrighty, we'll be loading through into our finals. Sorry, I had a complete brain fart there. Loading through into our finals in a second between XL and Mnm. This would be a big win if Mnm can get this. It finally puts them into a more realistic standing. You know, they can kind of push down one of the stronger teams. They want to say we are top 3, but we're not 3rd. We want to be higher up in that standing. So we take to the Rift. It's all for Mnm to prove, and XL, it's their shot to get their spot at the top of that tower back again. I predicted XL to sit at the top at the end of this week, so that's my prediction.
Yeah, I picked Fnatic. And then actually a big point that's come in is that Fnatic have had a roster swap. Magifelix is going to be playing in the LEC, and they have Ronaldo as a mid laner. And I would definitely say that on paper, it looks like a weaker Fnatic defending. So I think that whoever wins this has a really good shot at dethroning them. So it is absolutely a big game to win.
But the argument can also be made for these two teams are both also looking a little bit weaker as well. We'll have to see how this works out here, as these teams are now just setting up a defensive line across the map so far.
Yeah, just playing it slowly. Both teams defending the Raptors. It's very common to look for a level 1 ward there. Shogun just moving around in the river. And Kazing actually, this is a similar strategy he played in this previous game, where he opted to hide in this brush and then go for some early poke on the level 1. I think Yusa and Shogun should be aware of that. And they've actually both gone cleanse here. So both of them opting to go cleanse in this situation.
Alrighty.
Which means they won't be as vulnerable to the Fiddlestick Sphere and also the CC that comes in for the rest of XL's composition. But it does mean they are lacking that heal and ignite for the all-ins.
Well, XL already get themselves a solid shove to start this off. Pushing up into Mnm. You're seeing the power of the crows and the meteor as well. Shogun's already half HP.
Oh, I like that. Kasing's changed skin. He has the
Union Jack Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
He knows where he is.
I can respect it.
The best region in Europe.
In the world.
In the world.
But yeah, shoving power is a massive thing with this lane between the Sivir and the Fiddlesticks. So it's going to be very difficult for Yusa and Shogun to get any control of the lane, at least in the early levels. They kind of have to wait for it to bounce off the tower before they can start to push out.
The top lane is pretty even for the moment, just kind of shoving and farming away, but this bot lane is really rough. It's really, really rough for Mnm. They are getting chunked and shoved in exceptionally hard. Chibs has got the wave in a bit of an awkward spot. Sendo, special jumps in, actually takes a pretty bad trade there from Chibs.
And that's the big thing as well, is that obviously a while ago, Aurelia's W was changed so it doesn't reduce magic damage. And now there's no way in which you can actually stop the LeBlanc from just getting her full combo off. Before, you could just channel that W, wait for the chains to connect, and just mitigate so much. But now it only blocks physical damage, so it is a bit weaker in this matchup.
Taxi will pick up this bottom grab. Continues to allow XL's bot lane to have this pressure they have in this bot lane. As Silence will connect on to you. So good shield by Shogun, though, will make sure that it doesn't do too much damage from that. Sendo also now just poking Only Angel in, making his life really rough on this Urgot.
Yeah, I think the range discrepancy in the early levels is a bit painful for the Urgot. He does need some points behind his abilities before he can really handle the Gnar. As right now, it's just, you know, anytime the Gnar auto-attacks you, there's no guarantee you can actually hit him back. Not actually potentially looking to invade the Raptors of Taxa, because he did have a ward in it before and they had been left up, so he's headed over, looking to take it. In return, XL have moved to secure the second scuttle, so none of them will be picked up by Nulty.
Yeah.
But Taxa actually pings out in the blue side jungle, so he expects Nulty to be there, but he's already lost his chickens, and because Special moved to the top side, there's nothing he can do to sort of block his path on the way out. So essentially, both Scuttle Crabs were secured by XL, but Nulty was able to steal away a pretty influential camp in return.
Yeah, I mean, the red side camps in general are just the more high priority camps currently. They're the ones that give you the most experience, the most gold. And great camp for Nulty to get his hands on there.
And a big one as well is that because Nulty started with a full red side clear, he's now heading over to his own Raptors that are respawning, and then he's going to be able to do his Krugs, whereas Tax's pathing meant that he was very greedy in terms of picking up the Scuttle Crab, which is great, but he left his Krugs and his Raptors till the end. And actually, wait, we might see an all in here.
That's actually with the chains connecting on, and in comes Nulty, has himself the hijack and the Kingslayer available to flash forward. Ooh. That's going to be the chains down, and Nulty finds first blood.
Yeah, that was some flawless play, and we've criticized Nulty a lot in the early game, but that was not a play to be criticized. Landed every single ability as he needed to, and even followed the flash of Special. Well-deserved first blood.
This is why Nulty, he has very high highs and very low lows, and today has been a day of highs for this man. This week in general, to be fair.
He's had a good week, and absolutely has been performing. He didn't have as good a game last time he played Silas. It was a bit rough in the start, but this early game has been solid. And as I was saying before, because he is now doing his red side camps that respawn quickly, he should hit level 6 before Taxa. He has that experience from that kill. He's just cleared up his Krogs. He'll be pretty close to that level 6 mark. and he's going to be ahead in terms of tempo compared to Taxa, who's going to have to wait a little bit longer before he can start using his ultimate.
Some pretty interesting ults available to steal here. That's going to be the wallop into the Gnar. And Nolty makes his way up towards the top lane. Sendo maybe a little bit too greedy. The slows are on. Hyper's going to get procced as he shifts back, and now Nolty waiting for his cooldowns. Chases him forward, lands the chain slam, and Nolty finds his second kill.
And Nolty's just absolutely popping off here. He's just exactly where he needs to be at the right time. He punishes Special, he punishes Sendo, and these solo laners are a pretty important part of XL, especially when you see how Shannon struggled in their game before up against Phelan. And now the solo laners are the ones being punished.
Does MnXL will be able to get themselves this Cloud Drake, but the next one up is going to be a more hotly contested one in that mountain.
One thing that is shoes to talk about is, you were mentioning before, the ults that Nolty can steal away. Gnar ult is arguably one of the best in the whole game, because one of the big caveats with having an ult so powerful for Sendo is that you have to be a mega to use it. Nolty doesn't. He can steal it whenever he wants, and he has access to that really powerful ult, as well as the fact that Sylas will build a lot of AP, so he might even end up doing more damage than Sendo would, without that caveat of having to be mega as well. So absolutely a huge one to steal. And then, to be honest, across the board, he has some pretty solid options in terms of team fighting 1v1 or just pick potential with Kasing's Crowstorm and Tax's Glacial Prison.
I mean, literally, the Vanguard's Edge is probably the weakest one for him to steal. I mean, it's not...
And it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good because it gets the AP scaling. I mean, it doesn't allow him to reset his Q like it does with Chibs. With Special. Because that's one of the major strengths, is it kind of locks you into a zone where the Aurelia can burst you.
Is nice, though.
The other 4 ults are all really powerful ults for the Sylas to get.
Yeah, and I mean the Gnar one, even if it was just Gnar and all the 4 champions didn't have any ultimates at all, it would still be a pretty good spread just because how strong that Gnar ult is. But you have seen he has picked up the Glacial Prison. And that's the thing, is that Taxa hits his level 6, a big point for the Sejuani, and Nolty's just like, well, you know, I'll take that too. That's a pretty nice ganking tool. And now it's going to be really careful. Oh, and Special.
Special is going to get caused by the chains. Nolty comes in. That's the second chain to find its mark. The Sunstone connect. That's going to be the Glacial Prison. And Nolty is on a killing spree. 3-0.
And he's just absolutely popping it off. One of the silences critics, me being one of them, and having a great early game here where he's just consistently punished the side of XL. That was flawless play from Chibs, though, to set it up, landing both of the chains and giving Special no opportunity to get away. And one thing that's really concerning for me is that you want to see the Aurelia trying to pop off, get a lead, get some damage. Look at his items so far. That is not a
full utility,
build.
full defense. It's aware that the people who are carrying and doing a lot of damage, at least in these earlier stages, are going to be these AP carries in the Sylas and the Rock. But Chibs getting some solo plays, denying these minions as well. From Special, continuing to grow the lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's a viable build because you are up against AP mid and jungle, and you can build that Negatron into a Wit's End, which is a pretty good item for Aurelia, but it's still definitely not the situation you want to be in. 0-2-0 in the early game. The only sort of saving grace for XL is that the bot lane has applied a lot of pressure and pulled ahead, and they have got a pretty sizable CS lead.
Sendo is looking for that Gnar if he can find it, but the Wallop's going to go a little bit wide, and the Angel just kind of playing a dangerous game, gets gnawed back, but like Saga was talking about, as only Angel flashes in, gets the ulti down. Sendo is low. Fear Beyond Death is a second away from being procced, and only Angel with the flash solo kill on Sendo.
And Sendo just felt so confident there, using his Gnar to knock him in the walls, stunning him, locking him up, just thinking he's so low there's nothing he can do. Only Angel was a flash away from killing him, and he proved Sendo wrong.
Nolty might need to go bot lane.
Yeah.
This is still a problematic lane for them, as looks like the Crab is going to get picked up by Nolty for the moment, but his bot lane are very low on HP.
And that's a big thing as well, because they both opted to go cleanse. It's a great summoner to have against all-ins, but it doesn't do very much if you get chipped down. And Shannon having TP means that if they ever manage to chunk him out, or he felt like he wants to go back to the BF sword, he can easily do so and then TP back his lane as he has before. But Yusa took a ton of damage to the tower plates from his recall, and now, because he has no TP, there's nothing he can do to try and find some HP in return.
Well, Nolty wanted to come in there, but he steals away Kasing's ulti, gets that Crow's Storm available.
For murder.
And I think he's just going to help them shove in the lane. You have to be a bit careful, because Taxa has shown up.
And Taxa does have the ulti. The silence is going to bounce around the minions. We do have to be careful, though. That's an incredibly fed Sylas.
Yeah, but that is the one thing, is that the Crow Storm, I would say, out of all the ults you can steal, is the most situational, because you cannot guarantee that you're always going to be able to channel that off and have this setup, especially when there's so much CC coming out of XL. So every other ultimate, you can just take it, you can pop it instantly, it's going to be useful. The thing with the Crow Storm is you do need a little bit of setup. So that's why I was a bit concerned there if Taxa came in and tried to go aggressive on him. But and then do back off, they do get the reset. Shannon still pretty far ahead in terms of CS. And one thing we all know is that if a Sivir gets ahead in farm, it's going to be painful later on.
Bit of tape just fell from the ceiling.
I thought it was like a beard for a second. I was
yeah,
like, what's
that was
going
really
on?
weird. Studio's falling apart.
Oh, well.
How would a bird get in here? We're literally underground, by the way.
I don't know. It's just it just flitted down, and I was like, could that be?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No,
it's a bit of gaffer tape. You can see Nolty wants to make a play happen topside, but he has been spotted out on that ward by Sendo.
Yeah, some good vision coverage coming out from XL. And that does mean we'll just have to back away. I feel like, honestly, it might come to a point where Nolty just uses the Crow Storm to farm, and then he can get a new ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, he can't be sticking on him for that much longer still. He's only level 6.
Yeah.
That ward will still spot him out. He wants to make this play happen, but this time I think he's a little bit more aware. That's going to be the flip back. Nolty looking to chase in. Crow Storm's getting channeled. He still has the tether. The wallop is there. They pull him back with a fear beyond death to secure the kill. And now Special jumps in with the Vanguard's edge. Stun's going to try and find his mark onto 2 members. The Special does get in. Taxa now joins up with him. The Permafrost is available. The Glacial Prison and Special gets the shutdown. XL turn it back around. And with a 100 gold lead, are able to try and do something. But in comes Chibs. He might try and find something onto Taxa here. Got a lot of burst. Taxa's forced to flash. Stun's not going to find his mark. That's double chains down. Taxa is cooked. Chibs gets the kill with the ignite.
And Mnm managed to redeem it. The big win for XL, though, is that they shut down Nolty. A lot of gold. Actually, TP comes in now. This is from Sendo.
Yeah, Sendo wants to join up, although it's a little optimistic to make this play happen. However, does connect himself with the slow.
I call that a win. You know, he landed his ability. But the big talking point is they shut down Nolty, got a lot of gold from that, which did go over to Special. I think Nolty did misplay a little bit there because he stopwatched very early before the Glacial Prison even come out. If he Glacial Prison the ult, maybe it would have gone better, but might be a play coming out bot lane here.
Kasing gets himself the fear, but the tether's going to be used. In comes Nolty. Ulti by Yusa to get himself in with a killer instinct, and Kasing goes golden. Crows are bouncing around to slow them down, and Yusa gets himself his first kill. This will put him back in this game.
Yeah, good move from him. He felt confident. I think he was potentially looking for an ult, or at least some vision control. The thing is, he didn't respect the cleanse from Shogun, who's able to just ignore the fear, essentially, lock him down, and now Mnm going to be looking for this dragon. Taxa doesn't have flash, so if he jumps over the wall...
He's a level down. He's trying to join in. Nolty steals away the ulti, misses it out onto Taxa. That's going to be the Drake picked up, and now Special has to be careful. Has got Sendo waiting in the wings. Taxa with his ultimate. Oh, is not available quite yet.
Kianan just stole away the Scuttle Crab with his Boomerang Blade. That's a bit unlucky, but, well, only Angel.
He's a pretty tanky boy now.
Yeah, pretty bulky at this point and quite strong. Got a moderate amount of farm, but mostly it's that 2-0-2 scoreline, which has given him a lot of power. Has the Black Cleaver matched up by Sendo, but also able to get a bit more. However, big win for XL. They're able to finally get that bot lane tower, but the gold lead is still pretty close.
I think what's really cool about this game, actually, is the fact that, you know, we're rating these two as 2 of the top 3 teams, and since week 1, since week 2, again, there's been improvement from Mnm. They're able to actually kind of go toe-to-toe. They, last game, played a lot for the later scaling game, but they've been very proactive on the map, and Nolty been looking really, really good today. In general, as the bot lane have actually gone up. That's going to be Sendo with a flash wallop, bang down, and oh, Shogun is just deleted by Sendo. He jumps forward, and Yusa has got his flash, has got his cleanse, goes golden for the moment. The flawless duet can look to find his mark, but only Angel's coming in. Yusa jumps away, but he does get caught out. That's going to be 1 picked up by Special. 2 quick kills have been picked up by XL. Nolty has stolen away the Vanguard's edge, and he's looking to use it onto 1. It's going to be Kianan. The Crow Storm is used for the moment, and Kianan goes down. Special is on a killing spree. Only Angel dodges away on the ultis, but 5 members stand on top of him. It's a double kill picked up for Special. XL, their win condition is activated. Special is fed.
Yeah, and they just storm in all 5 members. It's like Mnm walking 1 by 1, and they get punished again and again. That is not the way you want to play out that team fight. And it was a big mistake coming out from Mnm to just essentially give over so many kills, and now the game has massively swung in their favor.
Well, they're ninjas, but that was like a bad ninja movie going in one after the other. letting XL get every single kill. Special 4-2-0. Now got that Wit's End available to him. With that phage, he's going to start to really hurt, and it's going to be even harder for Nolty and Chips to cut through him.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be really bulky now. And it's just the amount of damage he's able to put out. I think the crazy thing is that he was put to 0-2-0, and he's managed to come back to the point where he's 4-2-0. You can't shut down this man's Aurelia because he will be able to return, he will be able to come back.
And even though Xanden's only 0-0-3, look at the CS deficit between him and Yusa. It's 63 at the moment. He's very, very far ahead. Yusa only got his mirror mana, but Nolty actually has the nod. Misses it! No, he doesn't! The spell shield is huge! Xanden, that was a godlike play, as it does allow Sendo a little bit more time. He knocks Shogun back. A 2-for-1 in favor of XL!
And a huge play from Xanden. He still goes down, but he bought enough time for Sendo to turn up, and it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade in favor of XL, and now they're going to try and convert that into this Rift Herald.
Yeah, Chips has been sent top lane to deal with the push by Special. Nolty is just going to have to convince himself not to contest this. He's going to try and push up that mid lane, but Sendo will be sent to clear out that minion wave, and this is going to be a nice and easy Rift Herald secured by XL.
Yeah, easy pickup. They're going to be able to use this to transition into even more towers. They're already 2-0 up, and although the kill score is still in favor of Mnm, it's 3k gold in advantage to XL right now. And a big part of that is that CS difference between the AD carries. Xanden 175, the Yusa's 111. It's a big difference. And especially when Sivir is an AD carry who's going to scale incredibly well, it is starting to be a bit concerning.
Oh, and Angel looking to push out this wave. Sendo now feeling pretty comfortable with that Jagger in his fist and that Black Cleaver, but only Angel says, let's go, mate. The Gnar back onto the wallop. Sendo has Xanden to help him. Tries to jump away as Sendo leaps into the fray onto him. Xanden does not have his ulti quite available. Only Angel slows them down, and Nolty joining up to the fray. He seals away the Gnar. And Mnm's top laner will be able to scuttle away.
Yeah, so able to disengage that one, but does burn the flash, and that is pretty impactful for an Urgot because you're allowed to get that flash flip combo. And in the end, though, both sides walk away. Chibs now looking to split push on the side Special had moved to cover mid as Xanden made that roam bot lane. So he should be able to get some damage on his tower, but in return, XL just going to throw down this Rift Herald, and it's going to be tricky to defend this mid tower against that.
Yeah, the charge is going to get used here. Able to push in towards the minion wave. Nolty with that Gnar. Does not have flash as well, so he can't go for the big flash play. Rift Herald will be thwarted. Mnm do hold on to their mid lane turret for now. Chips was unable to push in that top lane and take the turret either.
That's the thing as well, is that you have to be so careful if you go for an engage play as Nolty with that Mega Gnar ult. Because if Xanden spell shields it, you'll be caught out, you don't have a stopwatch anymore, and you're so squishy as this Sylas compared to someone like a Sejuani. You have to really be careful, because if you go in, it may well be a one-way trip.
Oh, XL are able to finally crack down this mid lane tier 1. Taking it out. Definitely been a bloodier game than last game.
Yeah,
XL being a very aggressive team this week. You can tell they're angry. You can tell that they're just biting at the bit to get onto that tower challenge and get onto Fnatic and get their revenge.
Yeah, absolutely, and no one more than Special has looked really strong in the mid lane, especially on picks like this Aurelia. It's a massive concern, and that's the thing, is that they have to ban away the Yasuo. They have to ban away the Heimer, and it feels like it just restricts the other team so much to the point that they feel like, well, maybe we should leave the Aurelia open. And I think Special is proving time and time again that no, you really shouldn't.
Special has had 2 insane Aurelia games today. If he gets this... Oh, sorry, first of all, if they win and then he gets it again, that is just pure disrespect into the guy. The guy's been looking really on form since his return to the UK scene. He had his stint over on some kind of B League, or I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But now he's come back.
Now he's back in the big leagues once again, and he's shown that he deserves to be here on this pick. We do see Chibs pick up top tower, traded for that Cloud Dragon on the bot side.
Hey man, we literally have a World Championship org, a team who's literally won the World Championship org in our league.
Exactly.
Might not be the same team as such, but that's just being nitpicky, dude.
Teams change. Teams change. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's all about the org. And actually, we have a World semi-finalist playing right now.
Yeah,
so
I know. We actually have an insane, as far as worlds go, we actually have like a lot of pretty cool teams in that sense. Oh, we get a little carried away with that.
You know, more orgs in this league have won Worlds than all of NA ever has.
UK better than NA, you heard it here first. I mean, to be fair, that's not really that hard, is it?
Oh.
Ouch. And if there are any NA viewers watching currently, what time is it? What are you doing?
Well, no, because they're behind us, so it'd be like in the afternoon.
Yeah. What are you doing on a Thursday afternoon? Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
We actually don't have any NA viewers, I'm sure of it, but if we do...
we did have that one last split.
We did! Hey, mate, if you're watching, how's it going?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to smack talk your region, but maybe you were watching this region because you wanted to see some quality League of Legends instead.
Well, we do see Nulty waiting to Taxa.
Yeah, just steal away Tax's ulti as well, so now has got that in his bag. The Gnar ult did timeout, so he never actually got to use it when he stole it last time.
I feel like I expect so much when Nulty steals away these ults. He's like, oh, give me that! And then he's like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
It just happens time and time again. He's like, oh, I'll take that one, thank you very much. And then he just wanders off.
Just has it in the bag in case.
In case something happens.
Oh, that ward is well placed. Mnm step forward, they will be spotted out by XL.
If Shogun and Nulty just decide, do they want to walk that way? They're going to try and push to get some control of the Baron area. Have to be concerned that XL may just start it up. They have a lot of bulky members on their side who could tank that one up.
I think both teams have a relatively decent Baron as well. And you look at the likes of the Kai'Sa, especially as more levels and more items start to get achieved. There's 3-item power spike for this version of the Kai'Sa is. You can really rattle through the Baron, especially when they've got a Mountain Drake to boot as well. So XL also have to be a little bit careful of that threat. Yeah, they have the gold lead, and yeah, they have the 5-on-5 advantage at the moment. But you do not want to give Mnm that like little bit of respite where they can go and take the Baron.
Yeah, and XL will move to get control of this area. I think they're just waiting for a potential phase check from Mnm. You do not want to phase check into XL's composition by all means. And with the Several as well, it's very easy for them to maneuver into position. But for now, I think Mnm will just slowly try and obtain some vision. Question mark pings come out. Shogun's not going to walk through there right now.
Sendo actually doing a lot of damage to Only Angel. Just looking to put the Hyperprocs in. Has got special waiting in the wings and Taxa. Might be a little bit scary if you're Only Angel. Nulty does have himself Taxa's ulti as well. The Glacial Prison for a little bit longer. Not going to pull that trigger, but actually maybe they do. That's going to be the Gnar back. Good ulti by Taxa. That's right, Nulty, sorry, onto Kasing. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Kasing actually gets the fear off, so it's not going to be enough. Nulty's forced to flash away. The Vanguard's edge. The Protobelt is used. A double kill picked up for Special. Once again, this man's Aurelia is just terrifying.
Yeah, and it was a great bait coming out from XL. They felt like Sender was the only threat there, but
Shogun is low, and Special gets himself a triple kill on Aurelia, taking down 3 members of Mnm.
I feel like special and triple kills on Aurelia is now synonymous. It just seems to always happen. As soon as he gets the chance in a team fight, he just runs everyone down. And realistically, with the Silas down, with the Urgot not available, there's no one really who can stop Aurelia from just burning through this backline. Also crazy that Kasing survived there. That fear was timed.
Yeah, that fear was, oh no! Bye, Chips. Bye, Chips.
That's a long CC chain.
I mean, that is... Why are you walking there, man? You saw them walk into that side of the bush, into that side of the jungle, right?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a noopsie daisy and UK Kasing. UK Kasing and Chinese Sejuani.
Yeah.
Good combo.
I actually love that Sejuani skin.
That's pretty cool. I like that little pigs dancing on the recall.
I was always a big fan of the Pyro one, though.
Yeah.
He rides a Pyro. To be fair, Sejuani has some really good skins.
Yeah.
Even like that cheap like elf one, like part of the like D&D skin line they did. That one's sick. She's like an elf riding a lion.
I can't remember that.
You can't remember that one? Or look it up after the game.
Okay.
Because they did that D&D skin line, didn't they? So they had Bard.
Yeah, I know those.
Forsaken Jace or Paladin Jace,
no, that
and then they had the Carthus. They were all part of the D&D line.
They had. I know they had the Gragas one.
No, that was a different line. That was the one with Varus and
yeah.
Orm.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They were more kind of medieval, not D&D style.
Okay. I thought they were a bit...
There's a bit of a thin line between the pair, though.
Well, we can see it later.
XL now have 3 Cloud Drakes. Combine that up with the set of
I really don't remember like a Paladin J skin.
Don't you?
No.
I don't know if it's a paladin or if he's like... Yeah, he has got a paladin skin. Yeah, he has a paladin skin, and Karthus Lightbringer was also in that set as well. So it was Karthus, Jace, Sejuani, and Bard. I want more D&D skins,
I remember
man.
Bard. I don't remember the others. Did I just like miss a whole patch or something? Or did I like sleep through a whole patch?
Man, what's wrong with you? It was a while back they released it. As we'll talk about that after the game, because this game actually might be closing out right here. XL looking to group up. Sendo about to go Mega. He might try and find that opening. Nolty steals away the Crow Storm. That's going to be the on the hunt used by Hjarnan. As Nolty needs to find his opening. The inhib will fall down. Chips distorts in and distorts back out. Doesn't want to go for the fight. Nolty maybe can find himself the opening, but he just jumps away. Doesn't want to go for the fight here. And Chips has to be careful. Hjarnan spell shields up the sigil. And Mnm unable to defend as they lose 2 inhibs.
My really concerning thing here is not just the gold lead, the objective lead and all that. It's the fact that Hjarnan is level 15. So think how Fed's special is. He's lower level than Hjarnan.
Yeah.
He's 3 levels up on Eustace Kaiser, and that is just so scary because that's so many extra levels that you get so much more AD, attack speed, more points to your spell shield to reduce the cooldown. Plus, just more base HP. Levels are really impactful, and the fact that Hjarnan is tied with the highest level in the game, as someone who's shared a laning phase with another teammate, that's really scary.
I see Sendo now, level 16. About to go Mega. Well, he's gone Mega currently. Means he might be a little bit slower on the mark, but actually finds himself a wallet, gets flipped over the wall. A 4-man gnaw by Sendo. Taxa now tries to get in. The Crow Storm comes down by Kasing and Mnm being chased down. In comes the ulti onto the backline. It's beautifully placed. Chips runs away. XL jump in special 1v4. Launches over the wall and gets out alive. A double kill's been picked up by Hjarnan. Sendo finds another. Taxa leaps in and Chips is going to go down as Hjarnan gets a triple kill. All of XL find themselves an ace. They are going to take Mnm out, and they're looking for Fnatic dead in the eye for the finals, for the Tower Challenge.
And it was a great early game from Mnm, but it was not enough. Special came up huge. Hjarnan was massive as well, and they just destroyed any hopes Mnm had of taking that challenge to Fnatic Rising. Convincing victory from XL UK.
Quickest win of the day. 28 minutes on the clock, and XL get themselves a win over Mnm. And now they've made their way back up to the top of the tower. 3 weeks in a row, XL versus Fnatic. It's been back and forth, and we'll have to see if Fnatic can defend versus Mnm here.
And that's going to be the big thing, is that it is a different Fnatic. They've changed their mid laner over to Ronaldo, who was their sub last split as well towards the end. And that's the thing for me, is that they took a bit of time to adjust to not having Dan there. Ronaldo as well, who, as far as I know, is new to competitive. It's going to be a big dynamic shift. And when you look at how well Special has been playing, I would not want to debut against him.
No.
I would absolutely not. Like, give me someone a bit easier for my first competitive game to go up against.
Well, I think everyone in XL has been looking good. Let's ignore that first game from Hjarnan where he kind of turbo-inted.
In fairness, feeling they drafted a bot lane and they played their composition in a way to absolutely punish him.
True.
But then Hjarnan still managed to hang on, still managed to be relevant. And this game, he absolutely popped off. And I think that's the thing, is that it's not just we expect the bot lane to be stellar. We expect Special to pop off. But I think Taxa and Sendo, there's been a couple of blips here and now, but for the most part, they've really stepped up their gameplay, and they've looked like a much more consistent force, which is why XL looks so on form right now.
Yeah, it's been a really strong run by XL so far. I think you look at Sendo, you know, there were questions raised about him coming into the split. You know, he hadn't really been performing to the level we knew of him. This is Sendo returning to the form that we know, and it's nice to see, because while the questions get raised, he turns around and says, no, I am a good top laner. I am one of the best top laners in the UK scene. And I think it's safe to say he definitely is. He does have to go versus the likes of Shikari, who again has a lot of titles on his back, is a storied and a history UK player. But even so, I think Sendo, in his current form, is going to makes Shikari's life really hard, and I think it's going to make for a really thrilling matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a close one. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how the bot lanes play out, because Sean and saying, although they have had great performance today, they haven't looked infallible. And I think Matty and Frostfire have consistently been on point, especially last week. It's going to be an exciting one, and I'm really interested to see how the mid lane plays out, because Ronaldo, although he doesn't have much competitive experience, he has been scrimming with the team. He has a lot of experience in solo queue. So I want to see if the guy can pop off and maybe be Magic Felix 2.0.
We'll have to find out after we get ourselves into a little break. And then we'll get ourselves back with our tower challenge. So guys, we're going to take ourselves a short break. And when we're back, it'll be Fnatic Rising taking on XL UK. This is the tower challenge we'll be leading up to for week 3. Don't miss this one. We'll see you in a second.